Well, into the top story this morning. Lebanon has declared a 3-day mourning period for Hassan Nasrallah after the long-time Hezbollah leader was killed in an Israeli airstrike. The Israeli military says it attacked dozens of targets of Hezbollah as fears grow of an all-out war. Israel's heavy bombardment forced thousands of civilians to flee their homes and take refuge further north. To talk more about this matter, we are joined by Lebanese Ambassador to South Africa, Kabalan Frangieh. Ambassador, thank you very much for your time and for accepting our invite to come on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So,
good morning.
We've had quite an interesting discussion in the previous hour where we saw the history of Hezbollah within Lebanon, but perhaps maybe from what has been developing over these last few weeks, what is Lebanon's position regarding Israel's bombardment that has so far killed almost 1,000 civilians?
First, I heard a bit of the discussions before, and let's just be clear that this is a war against a sovereign country. No one in Lebanon sees it as a war against part of Lebanon. We have more than 1 million internally displaced persons. We have had more than 1,000 casualties now, among them children and women. Those are not Hezbollah fighters, those are civilians. And Lebanon official position is very clear. This is an attack on our country. We have seen attacks before from Israel. We have seen, as the speaker earlier said, a siege of Beirut in 1982. And we have seen occupation of our land for decades. And now we are in a full-fledged war as a country, and Lebanon is united, and we consider that the aggression and hostilities by Israel as war crimes and an attack against a whole country.
So I think what's important, and just to get more from you on this, is that there hasn't necessarily been confirmation of who has been killed in these attacks from Israel, because they are insistent that they are targeting Hezbollah and only Hezbollah. Obviously, there are children that have been killed in this as well. So we can, through what you're saying, assume that the citizens of Lebanon has been killed, and it has not just been members of Hezbollah.
Well, the country is under military siege now. 70% of the Lebanese territories are being attacked. As I mentioned, people are internally displaced. Last Monday, 500 people were killed. Lots of them are, as we mentioned, women and children. So from time to time, you can see that some strikes are on Hezbollah target, but in general, it's a carpet bombing. It's Gaza too. This is how people see it in Lebanon, and we have been seeing this type of carpet bombing from Israel for a long time now. The international community, Lebanon has a lot of friends. As I mentioned, it's a sovereign country. We have many friends all over the world, and some of them are putting pressure on Israel, and the official position of the Lebanese government is to have a diplomatic solution and a ceasefire, which starts from Gaza and in Lebanon as well. The whole problem actually is in Gaza.
Yeah. I suppose what we can't ignore, however, is that this has been ongoing for a war, and there have been many instances of rockets that have been fired from the south of Lebanon by Hezbollah into Israel. And they have threatened on many times that they are going to get revenge for this. And this is obviously what is happening right now. Did the government of Lebanon at any time try and stop Hezbollah from the acts that they have been embarking on?
Well, wars are immoral in general. But even in wars, you have concepts that are considered to be respected by the parties who are fighting. You can't compare. Proportionality is a very essential concept in wars. As we have witnessed what's happening in Gaza, for example, the genocides that were happening, you can't expect that people in the region to see these kind of crimes happening and not to react. When international law is not applied, when there is a country who is an exception to the whole community of countries, an exception to the United Nations, outside of the international law, what do we expect? We have to expect that some groups will go and try to fill those gaps when the law is not followed. According to international law, Israel occupies the West Bank and Gaza and East Jerusalem. According to all United Nations resolutions, those are occupied territories. And when Israel does not want to implement those resolutions and to follow the world order as everyone on the planet agrees, then what do we expect? And putting Israel as a country who's defending itself, this is far from the truth. Since the beginning, since the 1940s and after, Israel is the occupying force, and under international law, it has obligation to respect the people under its occupation, to treat the prisoners well, and under international law, the occupier has also responsibilities. So we see that some people, like the siege of Beirut, the beginning of Hezbollah was in 1982 and then officially 85, they were defending Lebanon. They kept defending Lebanon. Lebanon still has occupied territories from Israel. And at the same time, now we are seeing a threat of ground invasion, which means another occupation of a land of a sovereign country. This is completely not acceptable. This is now in 2024. It's close to madness.
We know that the French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot is in Lebanon at the moment. I think this is a very big development in this conflict. Do you know what, I suppose, the talks have been about? What is going to be happening? I know that there are apparently 2 French citizens that have been killed in this violence that we've seen erupting. As we know, Lebanon has a very strong relationship with France in general. Since the independence of Lebanon, the French foreign minister also is coming to show some support for the Lebanese people, for the Lebanese government. France also donated a lot of medical supplies and medicine to Lebanon, as we are in desperate need. And the embassy here is launching a Med Drive campaign to also raise funds to send medicine to Lebanon, as hospitals are being bombed as well now, and primary health facilities are being bombed. The French are also trying to speak with the Lebanese government to see what diplomatic ways are possible to stop the Israeli aggression on Lebanon. We have had a few days back, before the visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York, a very clear word from the international community, from the US and France and the G7 and few Arab countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE and Qatar, that an understanding to stop the war and to stop the Israeli aggression will take place. The Lebanese government accepted the ceasefire under a specific deal, and we were told that the Israeli government accepts. And then we discovered that after Prime Minister Netanyahu flew and reached New York, he changed his mind, and the assault escalated, and we are where we are now, at the verge of even bigger regional war and a disaster, a possible disaster, and more massacres, more carpet bombing, more Gaza-like, or using the playbook that was used in Gaza, again, can spill to even further, more than a regional war. Just finally, Ambassador, as I let you go, the sentiment amongst the Lebanese people on the passing of Hassan Nasrallah. I know that a 3-day period of mourning was declared on his passing, but how do Lebanese feel about the Hezbollah within the borders and the activities that have been taking place? And how are they feeling about the passing of the Hezbollah leader now?
Regardless of the political opinions of many, Hassan Nasrallah was a respected, very respected, well-respected figure in Lebanon and beyond. He has millions of followers and people love him. So most of the leadership of Lebanon has said words that there is a wound in the heart of many Lebanese, which is a wound in the heart of a lot of people. For many, he's seen as a freedom fighter. Others disagree with his politics, but as Lebanese, we are united when we are faced with an invasion or an assault like this. We saw that lots of political parties now are showing solidarity. When we see also that a big group of Lebanese are targeted, more than 1.2 million people, according to the latest number, are being internally displaced. The south is being emptied, and the southern suburb of Beirut. This is Lebanon. This is a country under attack. You cannot see it any other way.
Yeah. Ambassador, we have to leave it there for this morning. Thank you. Thank you for coming on this morning and giving us a sense of what is happening in this, what is supposedly now going to be on the brink of a full-scale war if things continue within the Middle East. Kabalan Frangieh is the Lebanese ambassador to South Africa, helping us understand Israel's heavy bombardment in Lebanon. And once again, we have reached out to the Israeli embassy, to the Israeli ambassador for comment. The invitation stands, and certainly a right to reply is available, and we would love to have a conversation with the ambassador as well.